This is Inside Indiana Business Radio on demand for Friday, August 7th, 2026. I'm Gary Dick. The Indiana State Fair begins a 15-day run today in Indianapolis. The fairgrounds transformed into one of the state's largest annual gatherings. It also packs an economic punch, estimated at more than $30 million in direct economic impact. Beyond the numbers, the State Fair is a Hoosier tradition that spans generations and represents a shared sense of identity, says State Fair Commission Executive Director Ray Allison.
It's just a special place, Gary, and I get emotional sometimes when I talk about it, but there's just nothing quite like it that brings Hoosiers from all across the state, all walks of life.
The Northern Indiana Commuter Transportation District is preparing for the possibility of a future rail connection to a proposed Chicago Bears stadium development in Hammond, all part of its newly approved 20-year strategic business plan. The Bears have not officially announced a location for a new stadium. However, NICD's long-term plan says the agency would explore ways to connect the South Shore line to a future stadium campus if the project moves forward. You're listening to Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Thanks for listening to this IBJ Media podcast. You're probably going to remember this ad. Do you know why? Podcast advertising works. 85% of listeners recalled hearing an ad during a podcast, and 70% of podcast listeners have acted after hearing an ad. So whether you're looking to be heard across the entire IBJ Media Podcast Network, sponsor one of our shows, or just start with a 30-second ad, IBJ Media can help. Contact advertise@ibj.com to learn more.
South Bend Mayor James Mueller has vetoed a South Bend Common Council resolution calling for a pause in the city's participation in the proposed Midwest Continental Divide Trail.
The veto comes just over a week after the council voted 7-1 to approve the non-binding resolution over the objections of the Mueller administration. The resolution urged the city to halt work on the trail until the Indiana General Assembly repeals Senate Bill 468 during the 2027 legislative session and replaces it with legislation developed with input from residents, farmers, and property owners. It also called for greater transparency about the proposed trail route and regular reports to the council on the city's involvement. Mueller said the resolution is non-binding and carries no legal authority. He also criticized the process used to bring the measure forward, saying it did not receive legal review by the council attorney before being filed and that no amendments were made to correct factual issues before it passed. The trail has become one of the region's most debated development proposals. Supporters believe it could create a major ecotourism destination connecting communities across northern Indiana. Opponents, including some farmers and landowners, have raised concerns about property rights, transparency, and the potential use of eminent domain. In explaining his veto, the mayor disputed several claims made in the resolution. He said the current state law already protects local control because any zoning, annexation, or eminent domain action within South Bend would still require approval from the council. Alex Brown, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Indianapolis-based Comlex America plans to invest more than $22 million in its airport operations and create up to 375 jobs by the end of 2030. The expansion would more than double the aircraft completion and maintenance company's workforce at its Indianapolis International Airport operation. Comlex America is a subsidiary of Switzerland-based Comlex Group, and it converts Airbus and Boeing aircraft into customized luxury jets for private, corporate, and government use. The Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs on Thursday announced that applications are now open for a new round of funding through the Stellar Pathways program. The multi-million-dollar initiative is designed to help communities build a vision for community and economic development and promote local collaboration. This is Gary Dick for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.